approaching another sunset. Friday evening, one more sunset Saturday, and then the next day we should be into Nuku Hiva. The interesting coloured clouds are actually not where the sunset is. They're on the opposite side of the sky. Beautiful. A very simple egg, tomato and rehydrated guacamole that night. Very, very simple, very enjoyable. Well, the wind is so light now that the seas have really calmed down. Occasionally a bigger bit of swell comes along and knocks us around, but mostly it's pretty calm. But the annoying thing now is that the wind has gone so light that I had to turn on the motor to make sure that I got in tomorrow out before dark, so that's always annoying. It's quite a pleasant day, but as I say, just not enough wind. And if you look at the wind generator, it's not even turning around. It shows that the apparent wind that is less than 7 knots. So yep, I'm hoping the wind will come up. It's always annoying to have to motor so much. One thing about doing my non-stop around, of course, I was not allowed to use the engines, so whatever happened, it had to be under sail only. But then, of course, I was not on a deadline to get to a place before dark, so that was the big difference. Interesting to see the cumulus there, because they're usually over land, and there is a little a smaller island that way, well away from us, not visible, well over the horizon, just as the main island that we're coming into is also 100 miles away still, so no way it's visible. So yeah, coming into sunset now. My last sunset on passage this will be, I think. I see that we're motoring, but you never know, tomorrow the wind could come up. I could end up with a bit of sailing tomorrow. I won't get in until sometime in the afternoon, maybe even late afternoon. So we've got time yet for the wind to get up and do a bit more sailing. It would be nice to do some more sailing. I do hate motoring like this. I just had to take the sail off the pole, the Genoa, and bring it over to the starboard side here, because the wind has come round to the southeast, from the east-southeast. Anyway, so the sun is slowly going down. It's going to be a nice sunset, I think, tonight. So hopefully this time tomorrow I'll be at anchor. This is my last sunset on passage while underway. See, here we have the view just after sunset, a bit rolly, but not often, but every now and then. Less than 100 miles to go to landfall, getting exciting. So here's my view of the course and the after the sunset. Here I am looking at the dawn, about just starting up there, and having a look out. It's too far, I can't see any land yet, but it's getting quite exciting. Quite rocky, quite a bit of swell. Any land that might be visible would be over that way, and it's too far away still, I think. But that's certainly the direction that land would be. I'm not seeing anything as yet. Maybe I can see the little island that way. It's a lot smaller than Nuku Hiva, but we are passing it to our south. I can just see the outline under the cloud there, I think. So yeah, definitely the island to the south there. The only other island I've seen in the meantime was Clarion, when I had to do some repairs. So over there we have the little island of Wahuka as we come in towards Nuku Hiva for landfall on Sunday the 28th of May, I believe. As yet we can't see Nuku Hiva ahead. 35, just under 35 miles away, 7 hours away. And it's pretty rolly. There's quite a swell. Nuku Hiva is there, but it's hidden by the cloud there. It's directly ahead of us, and that cloud must be obscuring the land, so that it's not too obvious that we're looking at any land there. Land ahoy! Always very exciting. Well, it's definitely the time to be sitting in the cockpit with my coffee, looking ahead and trying to see when I can first spot our landfall. But I cannot actually see the land at the moment. A lovely sunny day, 8 o'clock in the morning. So feeling quite excited. It's always exciting making a landfall and looking for my first glimpse of land itself. Oh, that is so much nicer. I just turned off the engine. We seem to be making around 5 knots anyway, so why have the engine running unnecessarily? It's so much more peaceful. We are rocking about still though, an awful lot. We've got the seas are coming pretty well onto our beam, so catching us on the side of the boat as they come onto us and really pushing us over. So it's not exactly a smooth ride. It's sailing, and we're in an ocean, crossing an ocean, and you expect to get quite big swells when you're crossing ocean. So here's the swell that is rocking us about so much. It's not that close together, fortunately, because if it were, the effect would be that much worse. But as it's coming onto the boat, it's definitely knocking us over. And there's also a swell coming from another direction, so probably the combination of the two doesn't help. But we are definitely rocking a lot. Here comes another one. That's coming from the southeast. And then there is definitely another one coming more from the north, maybe the northeast, perhaps. So, wow, we really went over that time. Very difficult keeping the horizon in the same spot all the time when the boat's moving around so much. Maybe I'll put the lifeline in the picture and then you'll be able to see how much we're moving in relation to that horizon. Really moving around a lot. Anyway, but a lovely day, and having turned the motor off, oh wow, that is so much better. I convinced myself, I did a little bit of calculating, and of course at 5 knots we were going to get in about 1 o'clock. That's with the motor running to make sure we kept a speed of minimum 5 knots. We were actually a little bit more. And then when I turned off the engine just to see what happened, there's enough wind and we're keeping a speed up of over 4 knots. Well, at 4 knots I worked out we'd get in about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Not in, but to our waypoint north of the bay, which is another half-hour sail into the bay to anchor, but not far. So I decided, well, at 4 knots and 2 o'clock, no big deal, you know, we'll sail. It's so much pleasanter, so much quieter, more peaceful, and very enjoyable. We're looking again to the little island to our south, Wahuka. And then suddenly along came a rain squall. I was frantically furling in the Genoa as we had a 20-knot gust of wind, which is still ongoing. Took in a load of the Genoa, and we've still got the rain behind us. So downwind, we were downwind of the rain, so of course it was catching up with us and affecting us. A bit of excitement all of a sudden when I realized that we were making 7-8 knots and had too much canvas out. So now that's all under control, and hopefully the wind will slowly die. I hope we don't get too many squalls like that. That certainly speeded us up though. We were making a good 7 knots, still making 6 to 7 knots. So good speed and a little bit wet.